What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Anti-Gravity Group podcast. My name is Braden Carlson.
My name is Taylor.
My name is Shane, or as you might know me, Postart.
My name is Macho Matt.
And this is a new record. We have not one, not two, but three guests today.
Hello, I'm Jay.
Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Mike.
There you go. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We'll see you next time.
Perfect. We're done?
Well,
that was great.
Great episode, guys. Thanks for joining us. All right. Well, we have a bunch of questions from Patreon for you guys. A little bit of inside baseball on lock precision and public missiles. But before we do that, I wanted to get a little bit of your guys' stories in rocketry, company history. We can take this all the way back to the Yank days. How'd you guys wind up where you are, and how long you been doing it?
I can do a 30-second rendition.
Go for it.
Okay.
I could probably do 10 seconds.
Dave and I and Mike grew up together, lived next door, and collectively we decided that we like things that light on fire and blow up. So I believe it's Dave's fault that we got into rockets. Well, probably your older brothers. Yeah, possibly, yeah. Don't blame me. So then it's certainly your fault after that. But so small ABC motors, that was fun. Had a lot of fun, and then we had a local hobby store, and Dave saw it on a box one day. There were
2 G's. You get 2 G's. 2 G's.
Two of them. So we never heard of that. So then, with probably our dial-up AOL internet, we found that there was a club in Wisconsin at Bong State Park, Tripoli, Wisconsin, and went down there and sucked in a few friends and saw big rockets.
Saw an M. Yeah, we're pretty much hooked. So saw an M fly. It's like, wait. This is kind of cool. How do we do this? So yeah, we just kind of dove right in. And once you get into it, wasn't a lot out there back in the early 90s for kits and whatever. So we just like, well, there's got to be a better way to do this. And that's kind of how Yank started. And yeah, I guess it just kind of blew up.
At that time, I kind of like backed away, started a family really early.
He thought we were weird. Don't let him fool you. He thought we were nuts.
The company you were keeping.
That's true.
So I was kind of on the sidelines watching these guys during the next 20 years. So
then what happened then?
So Yank started because we were flying at Bong, and I happened to buy I think it was a Rocket R&D, like 5.5-inch Sandhawk.
Right.
And cardboard. It was thick cardboard. It was
U-line tube or something.
Yeah, it was not great. So Dave and I and our buddy Bart decided that, well, we could maybe do something about that. So I bought a PML AMRAM that I demolished, after the first flight. Loved it. I'm going to build it on one day.
Oh, yeah.
But we saw a gap in the materials available and things to procure. So then Yank and we did the flexible phenolic and G10, and I mean there was stuff that happened there. But
yeah, no, it was all good. And then 9/11 hit, and the ATF got into their little gig, and ultimately we ended up selling the Lock Precision. Barry just bought Lock at the time, called us up and said, what are you guys doing? I said, well, nothing. Actually, we're looking to just kind of part ways. He's like, well, I'll come pick you all up. So he did. And then it was just quiet for a while. Everybody had family, kids. And then 15 years later, I bump into Barry on Facebook. And I saw what I call pre-9/11 rocketry photos. You could just tell the times were different. And I'm like, hey, man, how are things going? He's like, good. You want to buy it back? I'm like, you're out of your mind. Let me see the book. At the same time, I'm on a chat with these two clowns because we're all working from basically our offices by day and just Jack John.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm ribbing Jay. I'm like, you're not going to believe this.
Because at the time, we were all in a band. And as the time went, we played a lot. And as time went on, the Rockets started pulling everybody out of the band.
So Dave was first.
I had to retire.
Was gone, and then we pulled Mike in, and it's still Mike's band.
They have no gigs on the calendar, mind you. Just saying, I feel bad. We got one gig on the calendar.
One gig on the calendar.
We'll talk about it. We'll call it that. Yeah, we'll call it one gig on.
Oh yeah, that's coming. That's going to be fun. We can dive into that in a little bit.
And then PML.
Yeah,
and we love that. So Next week is 3 years that we've had PML.
Holy shit!
Wow, 3 years?
Already?
That's
Jeez.
crazy.
Yeah.
Saw that on my calendar.
Well, no wonder my hair is so gray. I thought.
And then shortly after PML came around, I'd been in IT for 20 some years, burned out, and these guys I saw Jay working 12 hours a day, and I never saw Dave because that's all he did was work. So I was like, hey, I'll come in and help, teach you some stuff. And a few months after that, I quit my day job, and now it's like herding cats with these two.
It's really funny too, because after Mike joined the team, I don't think I saw either one of you two at a rocket launch
We're still
since.
pretty hungover from traveling. But
I'm still not convinced you guys are actually coming to Argonia.
Are you
I'll
out of
have
your
to see
mind?
it to believe it.
What are you bringing for a
you
guitar?
want to segue to that right away?
Yeah. What are you bringing for a guitar?
Yeah, I mean we can. I got.
What do you mean
let's
we
see.
can? We are.
We did. It happened already. I got I'll bring my SG. That's a good traveling guitar. The headstock's already been broken off before and repaired, so I don't have to worry
right.
about it too
I'm
much.
bringing the boogie. We got a dual rec, so whatever else you want to have
okay.
beyond that.
So we're playing probably 2 sets at the Texas compound at Airfest. I think on Friday night.
Friday.
Yeah.
And we'll have a few musical guests with us. Like we'll get Braden up there to.
Yeah, we're totally hoping for that kind of level of
Yeah.
fun. It's just, because, it's kind of ironic because I had to retire from the band because, I mean, when you looking forward to a gig, but you're stressing on not getting your day job done, it became kind of a conundrum of a drag. And I'm like, wait a minute, it shouldn't be that way. And you kind of get to thinking, and I'm like, what? I don't want to bring that negative energy on stage, right? I mean, you go on stage and you're a rock star, man. You got to do your thing. And I know I was kind of just losing it. I'm like, I just got to retire, and everybody was kind of bummed that it was whatever it was. And I get it. But then, Jay kind of did the same thing. And now it's
I kept it going for
as long as
2
you could.
years, but
Yeah. It's
people's
hard.
priorities change, and
It's hard.
now I'm going to rocket launches instead of gigs. So
So here we come. Now we all of a sudden, we can all play. We're just not having our lead singer. So that'll be interesting. But you know what? Don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
But, the rest of the group's going to be there. We've got obviously people we know that play, and get your out there, man. It's going to be, we're just going to have some fun. It's, I always said, like Argonia and the biggest launches are a tilt-a-whirl and a snow cone machine away from being a festival, right? I mean, other than some toothless carnies chucking darts, really, I mean, it is an absolute blast, man.
It's
And
true,
so
though. Yeah.
what- Let's get a band. Let's go get a.
Yeah.
I don't know who's bringing a tilt-a-whirl.
Tim's
That's
got the margarita.
he's got that,
Adult snow cone.
But crap, man. I mean, this is fun stuff.
Yeah. So that's like the 3-minute version of 1994 to now 2024.
Yeah. So you tell me I got to grow up. I'm going to kick you in the ding ding.
Well, I was gonna say, if we can plan a song ahead of time, I can cover some lead singer stuff as well. Taylor also plays the drums. If you guys need more musical guests to throw
Man,
in.
get out there.
Absolutely.
Monkey wrench.
What? What's the drum situation? What-
They have a 7-piece, 35 cymbals, double bass. Stuff. It's a
Gretsch Catalina.
Gretsch Catalina. Yeah, maple.
Nice.
Taylor's over here like, yeah, I don't know. I got to see if the drums are good enough for me before you go offering that. I don't know.
To add to the mix, I played trumpet in high school, and I played a little recorder.
true.
I played a little recorder in 4th grade. So if
Okay.
we can mix me in, that'd be cool.
I got some extra kazoos. I ordered the whole shop a round of kazoos.
Oh, there
'cause
we
everybody
go.
yelled. I was whistling, and I'm like, that's it. We're blowing kazoos.
A round of
kinda got-
kazoos is
Yeah, well,
my favorite thing now.
I got yelled at for. I'm like, I'm buying kazoos, and I don't know. Why not?
That sounds like a fun
So I'll bring an
on-rocket
extra
idea.
kazoo, man.
Oh, yeah. Let's build a rocket that's covered in kazoos. Oh, but you hum into them. That wouldn't really do a lot.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. All right. Well,
We'll work out the
Let's make it
logistics of it. Well, anyway, I guess that's probably enough band talk for the Rocketry podcast. There are a lot of musicians in Rocketry, though. You run into it all the time. But yeah, we'll we'll hammer out the details of some music stuff. And let's go back for a little second here. For those, there's a lot of people that listen to our podcast that are still pretty new to rocketry. So if we could go back for a second, revisit. You want to go into a little bit more detail about what Yank Enterprises was?
Sure. Any thoughts?
Well, so basically it was Jay and I getting frustrated at the current commercial availability of certain kits. He ordered his Sandhawk, and I ordered an Iris, and we're looking at these things, and it's like everybody's advertising scale, and I'm like, this is nowhere near scale. What is this crap? And so out of frustration, and you got a Phoenix from somewhere too, and you weren't real thrilled. I don't remember where it was. And but you had parts and basically it ended up in the garbage. We're like, that's it. That's enough of this. And I don't know what was going on. Yeah. So, there was basically LOC and there was PML and, and their stuff was decent, but there was a lot of other, I don't know, under the radar companies, you might want to call them. And their stuff was just garbage. And it was like, this is frustrating.
There was, right.
So we just said, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this. We're going to do it right. We're going to make it better. Here's all the stuff.
So we had mandrels made.
Yeah.
We're buying tools. We're cutting stuff.
Right. And
all out of our parents' garage.
Yeah.
Drill presses and circle cutters. That's how you do it.
God.
That was it. Right. Well,
Right.
I mean, it's everybody today goes out and gets a small little desktop laser and all of a sudden they want to go into business. Right. So it's really no different. It was just a matter of the times.
Right.
So just getting better quality stuff and making scale. And I think that's where him and I threw down. It's like, you're not going to advertise scale unless it is scale.
And they bought the Rockets of the World book.
Oh, yeah. It all went sideways from there.
I
But yeah, that was all good.
So yeah, it was just about, we couldn't find what we liked, so we tried to improve it.
Just fill a void. I mean, it would just seem to be a lot of crap.
No offense.
Filth.
I mean,
Yeah, I remember, I think I saw at a launch in Southern California recently, somebody still had a proper Yank Iris, an older dude that's been sitting on it forever. So, yeah, they're still floating around out there. But, yeah, in summary, it's another golden era of high-power rocketry, so to speak, company that's was in good hands, as good hands as the current LOC Precision and PML administration, one might say. And I think...
the original Mystic Buzz.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
True.
Braden, can we get like a painting of what things were like before LOC and before Yank? I mean, like what were some of the big brands before?
Well, that was it. LOC and PML.
Oh, pretty much it was just LOC and PML and
it was 85.
yeah. And it was all
86.
yeah, and LOC was all clustered stuff because that's the way you did high power. I mean, you did 754 millimeters to get your level 3. You didn't have a single 98 motor, and you had to cluster to get it, or you had a cluster to get your thrust profiles because there just wasn't the buffet of motors, that there are today. I mean, today you can go find I always call it the rebranded L1120. It's, now it's a new M something you get certified on or whatever. Yeah, that was something like that.
Right.
And it's like, well, wait a minute. It used to be a lot more difficult. These, you had to glass the cardboard tubes because you just couldn't pick the right thrust profile. So everybody had to fiberglass their airframes to go get level 3. And it was a different time, and it was a lot harder. Electronics were certainly not a cutting edge thing because everybody was putting tubes and fuses and crap on their L2.
Mercury switches. Man.
Pretty close. But that's
What
the
a
way it
time
was.
to be
You cut your
alive.
teeth and you had to go out there and you blew up more. You failed more than you succeeded, as such as rocketry. Today it's a lot more cut and dry. You can follow a narrow path and you can succeed and never fail and get to level 3 and thump your chest and, but you never failed at anything. And so I look back at it as a times like, heck yeah, we all blew up, man. There's people coming home with burns and scars and not always the most safe environment, but so, but you crash, it doesn't matter what you're flying. You're all coming home in the same size box. You know what I mean? At 2,000 feet, if you don't have a parachute, I'm sorry, it's going to go crinkle. Doesn't matter. So those were some of the old school lessons that you just don't screw up. You don't have to succeed,
Now,
but don't
fast
screw up.
forward a little bit. Mike has been hanging out with some original lock guys in Ohio,
Right.
right, that are teaching us things about how the 80s used to be,
Yeah.
which is really cool to hear.
Yeah. Steve Eves, Mark Coburn, Ohio guys that were at the start of Lock Precision. They were in the area. They were helping Ron Schultz fly in local parks and things like that. And after LDRS, after I saw you guys, I stopped in Steve at Steve's house, and he was kind enough to grace us with a number of original Ron Schultz built kits, like some original stuff. Like this might be the original Lock Bruiser back here, this orange one right here. We're pretty sure this is the number 1 Warlock.
Dang. Look at that paint job.
Yeah, these are all.
Wow.
This is Ron loved the
He had to have a mirror ball.
prismatic.
Right.
Yeah,
Total mirror
sticker.
ball.
So
Bring up the mini mag though, because this is one I've been kind of chomping at the bit to redo a mini mag, because originally this kit was supposed to be able to be the largest kit you can fly on a G80, right, and still be under your 3.3, class 1 qualifications. And so I'm kind of still hell bent to make that happen. It's like okay, 5.5 inches on a G80, and you don't need a waiver. Yeah, so. One of those things I guess we'd call in process. We're really close.
Yeah.
We're fighting over an ounce right now, really.
but
Yeah,
it's weird to me.
it's a 29 millimeter mount in the original, right?
Oh man, that looks. I mean, the 38 in the 5.5-inch rocket already looks goofy.
Doesn't
a
it?
29's crazy.
Right. But that's how they hit it. So I mean,
Well, if we can go back for a second to talking about how everybody was glassing everything to survive, I wanted to have a chance to ask Dave and Jay, specifically Jay, I guess, about what happened. And I'm setting you up for failure here because I've definitely had conversations with Mike about it. What happened with the Force 10 at Balls that shredded on an end motor?
Well, I guess that's my fault. So we didn't put a stiffy in the forward 12-inch payload, right?
I talked you out of it. That's not all. Yeah, but you can't wear the whole thing
12
yourself.
or 15 inch.
15 inch. And it was just a coupler. We didn't put a stiffy in it, and I never thought it would fold there, but that's what happened.
No, I was the first one. I was like, you want a stiffy?
Gotta have a
Hell no,
stiffy.
That's extra weight.
So
And that was on a Gary Dickinson N2500 red.
which is also a stretch. I mean,
You don't know what the limits are unless you try it. So,
That's right on the collection.
because, going frame by frame through your video that you took of it, Braden, that's exactly what happened. If it was almost at burnout when that thing shredded. So,
Yeah.
Revenge Flight is coming this balls. We actually, this past weekend, we had a build weekend. And we've got most of it done. And it's going to be naked cardboard, no fiberglass on the airframe.
Let's go.
It's going to succeed. We've seen one fly, which is actually right back behind Jay. Eric Kainberg built one, no reinforcement, on an absolute full M at Midwest Power
with the stiffy.
with a stiffy in the forward closure or the forward coupler, and it hit 10K, and it was gorgeous. We know it's going to work. We just needed a stiffy.
That's
So you can't even throw Jay under the bus for that, because I was the first one to say, no, you don't need one up front. Down at the lower joints, yes, absolutely. Where they're closer to the center of pressure, I'm like, absolutely, you need a stiffy. But way the hell up by the nose cone,
The CP, right?
I'm like, absolutely, you don't need one. Don't throw the extra weight in there. And I'll honestly, I'll take full blame for that. I'm like, frick, no way, you don't need a frickin' stiffy up there. Well, I don't know what the hell happened, because the thing was barely burning to begin with. I'm like, I swear to God, a pigeon hit it.
It was a gorgeous shred, though, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was, yeah, and it worked out great for me because the fails compilation is my annually most viewed video for sure. But yeah, I just remember Mike the next day, he's like, they don't believe that it's shredded right there at the top. Can you please send me that video? I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
No.
And, it wasn't, maybe because Jay built it for the most part, I wasn't too sad about it, but
thanks.
it was one of those things where it's like, all right, back to the drawing board, because we know this will work. And
Right.
once we saw the
And
video,
that's-
we know
man.
why it's going to work. So
everyone has gotten so soft that I was like, when that happened, I was really bummed about it because it is possible. And it's gotten to the point now where I know somebody who's going for their level 3 right now, and he's doing a fiberglassed 5.5-inch rocket. And they were like, even glassed, they were like, well, I don't know if I want to see someone get their cert on a cardboard rocket. And I'm like, you have been flying rockets since 1992. This used to be what
Correct.
That was it. That was all you had.
And that's exactly why we designed the Force 10. There was 2 things that happened at the same time. One was 2 or 3 people contacted us and said, I'm going for my level 3. My tap won't let me do it because it's cardboard. And
I yelled up right away. I lost my. You need a new freaking tap. Who the hell is this guy?
Right.
He doesn't know from Shinola straight on it. Sorry.
So that got under my skin. And then we got a call from one of our good friends, Amy Howell, said, I want to fly cardboard at balls. What should I buy? So we took those 2 things together, along with our love of the band Rush, and created basically a 7.5-inch hyperlock.
Is it?
And called it the Force 10, which is the name of a Rush song. And shipped it out to balls. I flew out there, and if it hadn't failed, we wouldn't be talking about it right now. So
That's true. It almost didn't make it to balls, right? You had some fun UPS stuff.
second day aired it to Gerlach, and it came a day late. So prep was a little condensed, but
Yeah, you gotta love it. We just had this instance. I ordered something from you guys and they lost it. And then after you shipped the replacement, it got delivered. You gotta love it.
yeah. Well, you owe me a beer at balls. How's that sound?
All right. Yeah, that sounds fair to me. Okay, before we dive into the Patreon questions, I want to give my co-hosts here a chance to ask anything they need to know. Or Matt, if you just want to tell them about your favorite rocket in your collection, please do.
I don't know. I think it's a toss up between the Mini Mag or the Mystic Buzz. Mystic Buzz is pretty nice. I like the little whistle on deceleration on burnout. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and the buzz. There
Yeah.
Good.
You like the Mini Mag, huh? We should get this guy one.
Oh, yeah.
Version to go play with it, pound it around a little bit.
Taylor and I would do drag race a lot of time. Mine is painted to the Monster energy drink, and his was painted to Red Bull.
It's coming back. It's coming back.
Yeah, but every time it's kind of a crowd favorite, I think, just seeing them both go out at the same time. And before mine didn't have any nose weight, and so it would I think it what would it do? Shuttlecock?
It would dance a little bit.
Yeah,
do a little dance.
Yeah, but Taylor's would
It would
just
go straight, but not quite as straight.
Yeah, but
That's why I asked for 2 of them, Mike. Shane and I needed to be able to play along with the energy drink mini mag drag racing.
So thank you for making such an awesome rocket.
Yeah.
We sell a ton of them, and it's just they're great. They look great on the pad.
They do, yeah.
They're just short, little fat rockets. And
Yeah, see them from far away. Yeah,
I love them.
Yeah, I'm going to do a build video on mine, so maybe I'll help sell a bunch more of those.
Perfect. And I could follow that, and I'll build one too.
Oh, yeah. There you go. All right, anything from Taylor or Shane?
Not as far as questions go.
Yeah, not really.
All right. I actually do have one I want to get out ahead of it. A couple people did ask similar things, but I talked to Mike about this at LDRS. Shane and I want a 12-inch just mag.
Oh, yeah.
So just, keep that in mind.
You want to adjust what?
A 12-inch mag.
How about a 12-inch Warlock?
Oh, man. Isn't that on the back burner? Are we allowed to talk about that?
I'll show it to you. Uh-oh.
Oh, man. Oh.
You want help with this? What the hell, you cripple?
So for people just listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else, you might want to tune into the YouTube section for this part. Oh, my God. Look at it. It's glorious.
You got room back here?
I'm fine.
That's so awesome.
That's sick.
Sizable, right?
wow, that's nice.
So we're going to fly the Airfest on a
Short guy.
L off the front 9.
Awesome.
Right.
See, that's what Shane and I were talking about.
Awesome.
Close-ish, right?
Does that work?
Right.
So, Yeah, that's awesome.
We were talking about how a 12-inch mini mag would be like, it's 12 inches, but it's only like 6 feet tall, so it's not like a nuisance.
Yeah.
And the waiver at Lucerne is now only 7,000 feet. So it's like, sick, we can put M motors in it. It's going to go $4,000, and it'll be big, dumb, and fun.
We like big, dumb, and fun rockets.
That's one. It's all about the smoke, fire, and noise, boys.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Plus, imagine that thing at an Argonia, you could fly out of the grass of 50s pads on an L. Just this 12-inch rocket just being loud and ignorant in your face.
Camberg motor. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Anybody sim that one yet?
No. Bender extender.
Yep.
900 feet? It's a full G.
It's a full G.
Full G. It's a full G.
I was gonna say I won't dox any launch sites, but I've heard stories of some G5800s getting flown, the 98 millimeter ones.
Oh, fun.
Anyway,
See that?
Nice G.
so let's go into the Patreon questions. We have quite a few for you guys to address here, and Lanza Kalina is our first one. It says, what is your process for fiberglassing cardboard tubes? I received a 5.5-inch glass tube for a project from LOC, and it was the cleanest, smoothest fiberglass tube I have ever had. Love to be able to emulate the results. And I gave this one a heart react because we got our 12-inch stuff for our Punisher upscale from you guys, and it was so good. It was so nice to paint. And then Tim talked us out of glassing it ourselves. He's like, you do not want to do that. And then we were like, come on, it'll be fun. And then we did it with the 9-inch rocket and discovered that we did indeed not want to do that.
It sucked.
That's a good one. That's your baby. I did a video. It's on our YouTube channel. I did like a 4-inch example, but basically, you lay out butcher paper, lay out your fiberglass or carbon, whatever you're gonna do, wet it out, roll it, wrap it in Mylar, squeegee it out, you're done.
I was going to say, I've seen that video. Yeah. And I was a big proponent of wetting out the cloth after it's on the tube and rolling it through. But after seeing that video and seeing the results in person, I was like, all right, I'm kind of with it, actually. Yeah. I might be on the wrong side of history here.
It's a good way. There's many. I mean, the fiberglass socks work well. They're a thicker weave. So if you use more resin, then the Mylar is going to smooth everything out. But, it's got to be long cure. We use US composites. And your environment is really important. If it's too hot, it's too cold.
Yeah. We've had plenty of those flash curing panic attacks. You asked Taylor about his luck with the shrink tubing with the socks. That's we had a rough time with that.
Uh-oh.
Don't love it.
Oh, it looks so good.
Yeah, it does.
So us here at the shop do it, and honestly, after many hundreds, and you kind of get good at your craft. So,
yeah, I tried to emulate it with some 5.5-inch tube, and mine unfortunately does not look as nice, but it's all right. I'm used to sanding in the 110-degree garage.
This if people ask us for carbon wrap.
Ooh, dang.
When I didn't have any other fiberglassing to do, I carbon wrapped this broadcast booth that we have here. So
I saw that. Yeah, Mike sent me pictures of it. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's next level
radio
right there.
signals here, but
it's repetition. Honestly, it's just right.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. If you ever need to put a GPS tracker in the desk, it's not gonna be very good.
We're gonna lose our.
Okay. Rocket Profit says, why don't you make it 11.5-inch diameter kits any longer? I want to buy 11.5-inch diameter carbon fiber V2 with 1 or 3 152 millimeter motor mount tubes. If I could field this one, I don't want to speak for you guys, but I have to call into question whether or not this person would actually buy that if it were available.
Nobody's going to fit.
I'm going to say probably not.
Motors in an 11.5-inch tube. First off, that math doesn't even work.
And if it's V2,
and it's a V2 period, it just doesn't work. That's why the Germans failed. For Christ's sakes, it just doesn't, V2 just whatever. Yeah,
No, we'd have to stuff all you guys at the nose cone.
Yeah, maybe.
Dude, my 8-inch V2 has
bigger cones. We hope this is going to be a kit shortly.
Yeah.
So we're efforting that. We'll get there.
awesome. Yeah, the V2 is
Huh?
it's an enigma. Mine flies straight my 8-inch fiberglass one, but it's seriously like it's my perfect example of questioning why bowling ball lofting is like so looked back on negatively. They're like, we used to do that. Can you believe that? I'm like, my man, my 8-inch nose cone weighs more than a bowling ball. Okay, it's not going to be
Right.
It'll be more aerodynamic if it comes off. That's not going to be great.
Right.
No, and I could see somebody doing a 12-inch V2 with a single 6-inch motor. Oh, they're still nuts. You know what I mean? At the same crack. You're not doing it with 3. There's no way. But even a single
Right.
one in a boat tail, somebody's going to do it. But in reality, just bringing back to 12-inch. Let's just get some. We're still working on the cones. They're not the hard part. They're just not to our liking yet. They're not to our standards, which is a lot of people don't seem to care. But
That's yours.
there's yours, Braden. That's
Hey, look at my 6-inch nose cone. Taylor's going to be thrilled. Taylor wants one too, and he's been barking up that tree. So if you need more blemish ones going out the door for practice runs, Taylor would love one.
Taylor's a great teacher.
It's true.
Yeah. So basically, on the fiberglass nose cones, the molds are old. Let's call them. Okay, I was gonna say seasoned,
Antiquated?
but yeah, they're old.
Experience.
They were made
1842.
for components, resins and fabric that just aren't available to us anymore. So we're trying our butts off. Jay's trying his butt off to try to make the old molds work with current stuff, and it's
Not jiving very well.
not jiving very well. So it might be time in the near future to create new molds for these cones. We want to keep them going. PML
Right.
cones are gorgeous.
Yeah.
That 11-inch cone, the 11.5-inch cone on the Warlock is 4 pounds dry.
Yeah, that's so I have the 7.5-inch one that you guys sent me for the Iris, and it looks like it's got carbon on the inside. But every time I pick it up, I'm like, why does this weigh so little?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
A little bit of reinforcement there. But, ultimately you can make a solid cone lightweight. I mean, we didn't get to the moon by flying as fat as we can, as solid as we can, right? I mean, nobody loaded up the Saturn V full of heavyweight so it got back on time. You had to get there by flying lightweight stuff. And somehow in Rocketry, we forgot about making things light. Let's just go heavy and fat. Oh, okay. So keeping it light is kind of a key thing, and don't want to lose sight of that. That's the biggest thing, right? For us,
Plus, we want to have an option for the consumer. There isn't a whole lot out there.
No.
So,
Yeah.
and we, they're cool. We want to keep them going, but we got to make them
to our standards.
to our standards. Exactly.
Yeah, and to your point, Dave, we have a filament wound 12-inch nose cone that you know where it came from, but it weighs. How much did that thing weigh before we put nose in? Like 24 pounds?
I think it weighed 19, and now it's like 22.
Yeah, it's absurd. So a lightweight option is phenomenal. And that actually
we needed
segues
that
us-
weight though. So
Yeah, we did need it there, and we wanted it to look right. That's why we just wanted the 5-to-1. No shade to our friends over at LOC PML.
yeah, what's funny is now you can't get 4-to-1s for any other size. So
Yeah, we keep running into needing them.
It's a tough gig. No, we're still going after it. That's the thing. We haven't quit, but we're still. It's been a hell of a battle to get to. I guess maybe we hold. I don't know. I don't want to say it's high standards, but it's like I'm not going to throw crap out the door because we've all had it growing up in Rocketry. We've all had ordered this of what the hell. This is just I don't want junk arriving on somebody's door. So
Right.
Yeah, I guess we're kind of holding a higher bar. And if it takes us longer, it takes us a little longer. But when it's all said and done, it should be right. It should be proper. So that's the
Well,
challenge.
I'd like to think everybody appreciates that. I know we certainly do.
And, just to throw one more thing on top, none of us rocket manufacturers are busting out the doors with labor. It's just a couple of guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we got to make mini mags and warlocks and lock 4s and ship those to dealers and customers. And, that we don't have, one guy just sitting there trying to figure this stuff out. It's all clean everything. So, yeah, stuff's going to take a little bit longer.
Well, we don't employ China.
And that's another thing, I'm okay with that. We do as much as we can sourcing our materials
right.
in the United States and doing stuff in-house, because then we can control it. So that
awesome. Well, that kind of segues us nicely into the next question from our friend Jonathan Gabery, who asked about the nose cones, but that's pretty well handled. So he wants to know, will you ever make the 7.5-inch Miranda a kit? I love seeing it fly in person at LDRS.
Well, that's all on you.
It's that was a really fun project. I don't know. In the original version of that project, it was a Central 75 with 6 outboards. And as we built the fin can, we thought, why are we doing 6 outboards with 6 fins? It's just stupid. But we got it together, and it flew great. It was CTI M, I can't remember, 17 something green. I can't remember. And then the first air start scopes go 3 Sparkies and then 3 whites. So basically a triple or double air start. And the 3 Sparkies Katoed when they lit.
Oh,
Took out the booster and the first section of tube above that. So came back and did some failure analysis, found out the issue, rebuilt it just on a center out of 98 and put it up at LDRS, and it was a great flight. And that is totally a doable kit retail once we figure out the cones.
There you go. That is, as far as a big kit that Taylor might buy, that might be the only thing I could think of that he would actually consider that size.
I don't have the photo of the model with the model. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
I don't. Braden told me it was on the ceiling when you were a kid.
Yeah, it was.
no,
Taylor,
that's not.
Taylor had the centerfold magazine. He taped the Miranda poster right over the middle of the magazine. Yeah.
No, but I did look through that PML catalog till the pages fell apart. So
who didn't? Push that.
Pack of heaters and a Playboy, I guess.
And then Jonathan says, can we maybe get some hints to what the first production 11.5-inch kit will be? That being said, you guys do a great job as manufacturers and flyers, and can't wait to see what the next LOC rockets are. Well, there you go. Nice.
Yeah. Yep. That's going to be deemed at the Warlord. The Warlord.
Nice. That's a great name. Okay, so Bob Green had a handful of questions, but I'm only going to ask you guys one because the rest are a little outside the realm of just rocketry and more, well, I guess we'll say business oriented. But he does say, is the hobby shop market so small as to be inconsequential? And that is something I was actually interested in because I went to a hobby store down in Upland, California. Is that where Pegasus Hobbies is, Shane?
Is it in Ontario?
No, it's somewhere around there, Southern California. They had like a 2.6-inch lock kit. I think it might have been a Forte or something in there. I sent a picture to Mike. I was like, this is crazy, dude. I've never seen like a high power lock kit at a hobby shop before. And Mike was like, yeah, they haven't ordered anything from us in like 3 years.
It could be.
Yeah, I think it was Pegasus.
Yep. Is that a pink guy? I think so. That might be.
The hobby or the dealer market for us is fantastic.
Right. Yeah, we'd rather use our dealers.
They're the ones pulling the trailer around. They're the ones spending the money on diesel. They're the ones.
They're our salespeople.
Yes,
they're out there. They're doing it.
When I get this all the time because these guys are burned out. I'm the one going to launches, and I love it. After 22 years of sitting in a cubicle, trying to help people with their email that doesn't work. That What was I talking about?
That's perfect. Dealers. So
yeah. So
fluff them up.
yeah. So they're the ones, spending all the time and money to go out to the fields and be the motor vendor,
and the educator,
the Chris Shorts and the Tim Lears and Ruby Myers out on the West Coast.
If you lose your dealers in the field and you can't buy motors on site, you're losing your launch. Right. So these people are the number one advocate for everything we do. And to shortchange them by thin margins because you didn't plan ahead, to me, is absolutely the most backwards thinking. They're out there. They have the motorhome. They have this giant trailer. It costs a lot to get out there. Their time. If you can't give them decent margins to go do what they do to support launches that y'all are at, you're doing it wrong. So to just be some kind of garage startup that gives barely anything to these people or doesn't want to sell to these people, what are you doing? Because they are the lifeblood of the hobby. If you go to a launch and there's no motor vendor, you don't have a launch. That's fact.
Yeah, we know that all too well.
Right. You have to support these people. They are the number one. And they're our cheerleaders. And if they're not just our cheerleaders, they're every other manufacturer's cheerleaders.
They've paid shipping to get that product in their hands so they can drive it to you and not charge you for it.
Right. So they're our first number one babies. We take care of them.
We love them.
Because they take care of you. So we have to make sure that they're in good hands.
And that's why when I go to launches, I'm just there to, maybe show off a new kit or fly some stuff, test fly some stuff, and talk to people. We want them to represent us.
Right.
Because we can't be at every launch. They're at most every launch. So
we've gotten yelled at for not selling at a launch before. It's like, what do you mean? I'm not. You got Tim, you got Chris. What? Well, I don't need to sell anything. They got our stuff. Well, how come you don't? I want to give you. You're giving to them. You're giving to me. No, it's not about us right there. It's support the vendors because they make these launches. These launches are a spectacle. They need to be out there. If they lose ground and they can't afford to be out there, this hobby's going to tank.
That's our mindset.
That is our mindset.
Now, if you want to look at the brick and mortar or hobby shops, the retail hobby shops, you've seen a lot of contraction over the last 10, 15 years, and there's not as many of them. Those have dwindled. And the ones that, it seems like everybody's selling RC stuff, cars, planes.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Gundams.
Yeah. So you'll see the real small, Etsy stuff and stuff like that in there, that they get through their distributors that they get the RC stuff from. We do have a number of stores around the country, that do handle it, the brick and mortar stuff. But we're seeing growth outside of the United States, Canada, UK, Australia. All of a sudden, Australia's been starving for rocketry components.
New Zealand too, yeah.
New Zealand. So we're seeing a lot more traction out there. I know Australia, for example, has a heck of a time trying to get any kind of motors down there. And even G motors, it's incredibly expensive to send anything down there. So
shout out to
whatever we can to help the startups down there stock our stuff and get it out in the hands of people.
It's keeping the hobby alive, right? Because I went through 9/11 and how this hobby got so nerfed, and I didn't think it'd ever come back to where we're at today. I mean, I can't believe we're sitting here yet today. I'm like, there's no way we're going to pull through. I mean, who argues against the federal government and wins? Well, Triple E and R did, and here we sit. So to support that, to me, it's just not just our company. It's the hobby as an entirety, and so to bring in all these new people that haven't really seen it, it's not a popular hobby. You don't just see it at your local park. You might have to drive a few hours to go check out what this really means. And if they're even remotely interested and they go see a high power launch, they're hooked. I mean, nobody walks away from a rocket launch and said that was lame. They'll walk away from a fireworks show on the 4th of July when they didn't spend enough money. That was 10 minutes of a waste of my time. But at a rocket launch, nobody ever walks away and says it sucks.
I haven't heard it.
Ever. No. So you get them out there. You get these people out there. Check it out, man. It's a lot of fun. And, getting the new people under the wing and helping them. And that's, we put a lot of that on our dealers, and they understand that. but we try to support them any way we can to make sure that they have the tools that help the next whatever generation's coming up, to get them flying, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, to your point, having the dealers there and having the availability to just grab that 4-inch T-lock or whatever's sitting there right now and leave with it, and you're back 2 weeks later flying the thing.
Right. Here's 5 minutes CA. Just go ahead and you get it up in a half an hour. You're ready. Here you go.
Yes, I love, man. I could go on for an hour and a half about how I love CA, dude. When I bought one of those giant bottles, my God, I was like 5 years old again. It was the best day of my life. Joshua Anderson says, if there was any wacky design or any rocket kit that you can't currently make now but could magically make happen, what would you want it to be?
You have something weird downstairs, right?
I still want that. I never got. Okay, so I had it built, but it never held together. And it's
I'll be ready.
Damn if I can think of the name of it. He's going to come up with it too. I'm sure it's sitting down in the office somewhere. The Estes Condor.
Oh yes.
But it
Dude,
was
Taylor and I both have a nightmare story about those things. We both lost the gliders instantly.
Right. Well, mine never even made it up. Everything went poof like that, like it was a fireworks display, and I'm like, really?
Oh no.
Because I don't remember ever seeing standing off the glassine layer when I was a kid, and and you used testers glue, and I'm like, why do my fins keep falling off? And it was more frustrating.
Right.
The bright spot was when it actually held together and the chute didn't pop because that glued together, but then you nailed the neighbor's cow in the ass, and they took off running. That was the funny part. So not to put any bad examples out there, but that's what happened in 1982. Yeah, no, I always wanted to make these gliders, but the bigger and the heavier you get, the more complex it is. And yeah, I've got a few people give me some designs and ideas, but I'm like, it's just not on a high power level. It's really just not a possibility. You got, I can't think of his name with the gliders, and he does a great job.
Frank Burke.
Yes. Thank you. Frank. Yes. God almighty. Sat next to him a billion times up in Colorado and wherever. He's got that all figured out, and so if that's your bailiwick, man, that is what you go. You have to go do that.
They're so cool too. I mean, like it's unfortunate he can't ship them. I understand why they're fragile, and it's just going to be a disaster. But yeah, if you're ever near Oregon and you have the chance to buy a dinosaur rocket glider, don't hesitate if that's up your alley. Because I'm sad that I've never purchased one. I've seen Frank in person several times, but
I don't know how to fly RC.
Not RC. If you could magically make a kit, is there anything on top of your head? I love Jayhawks.
Yeah,
I got all that weird stuff, but I haven't thought about that a long time. My level 3 was a Phoenix, so I love it's over there. But I love challenges.
We grew up on the military shit, though. We always liked that scale.
Dave's a Hawk guy. I love Phoenixes.
Frick the Hawk. That thing is love to hate.
6-fin Mirandas and. I haven't thought. Well, I did that.
Is that a pineapple thing?
I don't know. Last year, I kept walking by this PML carbon fiber conical comb just laying there. It was like the last one that we had, and I don't know. My first. I don't want to sound like a boomer here, but my first Estes rocket was a Black Brand 2. And there's a conical sitting there, and I don't know, a couple cocktails and a comment. Before you know it, we've got
giant Picardi.
I called it Picardi, and I built it and flew it. Yeah, I flew it at balls last year. Put a little too much black powder in it, kind of blew the fillets off of it a little bit, but it that was the one I kind of wanted to build because it was the first one I had.
Childhood.
It was a childhood thing.
Right,
so fine, call me a boomer. I'm not a boomer, but call me a boomer.
No, but he had the 24 millimeter motor when we were kids, and I only had the 18 millimeter. So I'm like, I go to a C67.
Your mom did.
How come he gets the D12? That might be part of it. Your mom, my mom talked, and I'm like, he's only getting the 18. So something happened there, and he got the freaking yeah. And I was like, really? How the hell does this work? I want to hit the llama the same way you do. Neighbor grew llamas.
All right.
Sorry, that was always fun to launch rocket to the left. Not really.
No.
They were just downrange.
All right. Well, Brian Kelsey asks, are there any new scale sounding rocket kits on the way of any size? And what made you pick the ones that are currently in production? He cites a few specific ones, but I trust that you guys know what you manufacture. The same for kits of other existing real missiles. Why those particular ones?
Dave's a scale guy.
I love Hawks. I love to hate them. I mean, they're absolutely brutal to manufacture. They're absolutely brutal to fly. But yet, when you pull it all together and you succeed, it is the biggest freaking. I don't care. I don't know what you've done or where you've been, but if you fly a big ass Hawk and you successfully get it down with all the nose weight that's necessary and to build that thing, you got my respect. It is a pain in the ass. There's no other way to put it. Phoenix isn't far off, you know.
Fillets.
You just got your fins split into two, which
I mean, my nose cone was 14 pounds.
Right. You know, so yeah, scale military stuff. They're not designed to be dumb rockets, right? So that's kind of the challenge internally. We've got a couple of big scale things that we haven't played with yet. You know, standard arm harpoons, which are really fun in the 7.5 inch size, but you know, to make sure that it's a fine line between people that know how to build and the people that are brand new and just think it's cool and then have no idea what they're doing and have a gazillion questions, right? So when you're at that point of a 7.5 inch kit, you got to walk kind of lightly because it's all of a sudden people overthink their ability, or there's other ones that are right there with you, but it can be time consuming on the customer service part of it, if you will.
If you overpower any big canard kit, you're just
asking
for trouble. Right.
So, I mean, don't do that.
Why we don't do things like that. Like our AMRAMs are scaled down. The canards are.
Yeah, the canards are. It's on purpose. It's
when
not.
We brought LOC back to Wisconsin. The first thing I did is make a 5.5 inch scale AMRAM.
That thing wrote like a mother. It was great.
With the perfect canards and Frank Noble at Bong and Southern Wisconsin. He goes, "Are you sure?"
Yeah, the Yank boys are back, aren't they?
Let's give it a shot. It was okay. It was a K850 and it
you lived.
The hell out of it.
Everybody lived.
But I've also, had my buddies overpower a Phoenix for me. So anyway, it's experience, it's simulations, it's more experience.
Yeah.
So scale.
Yeah, and
are the fins
the Hawk?
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We make them safe.
We try to make it safe. That's the thing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a dude that he used to fly with Tripoli, Idaho, that had a Hawk that every time it just turn right and go, and every time he just start walking. I was like, man, you got to do something about that. But they're definitely tough rockets. They do look great, though. So I will.
Dude, they're awesome.
So it's either underpowered or too much nose weight. Take your pick,
right?
Or under nose weight.
Windy.
Or windy, right? I mean, I brought mine to Midwest Power, and I was like, no, I'm not flying it in this wind. Everybody's jacking me on. I'm like, no, it's not going to happen. It's just no. It's a solid no. Nobody's going to die while I'm flying a rocket. Just no.
Right.
And so you wait till it's calm, and then it works great. And then at the same time, you realize what you could have done better, so you throw it in the bonfire pit and start over.
So there's a lot of skill things on Dave's mind, obviously. But I mean, it's
you just can't let him go.
That we all love and are proud to produce.
I love scale military, but you just can't throw it out there.
If y'all can tell us what you want,
we're a sounding board.
We can
just remember, if you want a 7.5 inch iris, we don't have a nose cone right now for it.
I was just about to say that people ask me about that thing. It hasn't been to a launch since Dave and Jay and I flew it at Tripoli Vegas, but right? People know about it enough that they ask me all the time. They're like, are they going to make that?
Do it. But just the LOC standard nose cone doesn't. It's not. It's just not right. It doesn't fit right. It's a 5-to-1 in scale. So I mean, a 4-to-1 you can squeeze the cheeks and get away with it.
Right. Yeah, that was the only thing. I had an all fiberglass one, which is actually how we all converged together. Was that one that I had built beforehand, and it had a 5-to-1 Jelco nose cone on it. That's the only thing I miss about that thing. The fact that it weighed 60 pounds was not. I don't miss that at all. Incidentally,
it's conical. No.
But yeah.
Here it is.
So there you go, folks. The 7.5 inch iris is off the table for the time being. But you heard it from the horse's mouth. Now stop asking me, please. I don't have any answers for you.
Well, I mean, we could do a 7.5 iris with our standard cone if people really want it, but it's just not right, you know.
Yeah.
It'll just be wrong.
Yeah, we all respect the choice to not do it because it would be wrong around here.
Right.
All right, Noah Lenahan asks, what's the fastest and highest you've seen a LOC cardboard and plywood rocket push without fiberglass reinforcement? Takes us back to the Force 10.
The Mach
You
2.2.
said lock 4. Right.
Oh, LOC 4.
LOC cardboard.
A LOC cardboard kit.
Yeah.
New Pro Max went to Mach 2.2 on the J350, was it?
Dang.
I think so. Yeah. No harm, no foul. Piece of cake.
4-inch Goblin, I hit 1.4.
You hit 1.4 in the K535s. Yeah. So, I mean,
That's
breaking the sound
crazy.
barrier with, it's not a big deal. People just have this mystique when, Frank and Barry were sleeping at the wheel. Everybody thinks you got to do fiberglass to get supersonic. It's like, shit, it's too heavy to get supersonic. I mean, let's get real a minute. Hang on. So yeah, no, I've seen a new Pro Max Mach 2.2 and a J350. No sweat. No
That's
harm, no
not
foul.
surprising me. The Goblin is, because even with fiberglass, those fins are going to want to flap. So that's impressive.
Thank you.
No, we did the 12-inch LDRS last year, right? That was on an N4000?
Yeah. That was a great flight.
I don't think what did we get? We get Mach point,
0.8.
0.8 something. 0.8.
Whatever. They're huge. Maybe it was 0.8. I don't know. Definitely didn't break it.
I don't know why we lost Taylor, but we're going to go on. Ernesto says,
Sorry,
for
Taylor.
each person from LOC, what are your 3 most favorite rockets in your inventory and why?
Oh my goodness.
I don't have an inventory.
Go. Mystic Buzz, because it reminds me of the beginning of these guys. The Magnum, because it's the beginning of LOC. And probably the Force 10, because it was like the first big one that I was involved with from start to finish. Nice.
Well, I'm a Hawk guy, even though we don't have many in the inventory. The Iris. Love the Iris. It's a straight flyer.
It's so good.
I don't know, that's pretty much my go-tos. Yeah. I'll say the Hawk and the Iris, and then
bull puppies, though, don't you? Or the what's that 2.5-inch PML? You really love that. So the AGM 256.
the Pitbull. Yeah. No, we got something cranking there. Yes,
That's one
That'll
we
be
want to
fun.
really kind of
Yep.
probably do something with, right?
Yep. That's a cool looking kit. We'll have fun with that one.
Yeah.
Jay.
Phoenix and Phoenix. Love them.
Big Pahonix guy.
Love everything else. Split fin things are awesome. The whistle Dave's working on.
Oh, yeah.
That, sounds like a freight train on D-cell. Sorry. So noisemakers are awesome, and military scale stuff. That's me.
Yeah, we're in this for the smoke, fire, and noise, not the equations. Yeah, I don't know if anybody picked that up.
That's
Your
relatable.
algebra, I just want your noise. Yeah.
Yeah, I dropped out of engineering school. I realized it wasn't just playing with rockets for fun. Bayou Rat Aerospace and Rocketry asks, what happened to the LOC Aura and LOC Weasel? Both are favorite kits of mine. Any chance of them coming back?
So the Aura is technically in Aerobee, which we have a redesign park flyer model that's supposed to happen. It's basically ready. It's just making it more scale. It was that's what its intention was, and with some modern tech versus 1984, I think that one actually came out. We just got to get the artwork and everything together. What was the other one? The Weasel. So the Weasel, we tried rebranding a little bit. It just kind of fell out of love. It just fell out of popularity. So we kind of decided, it's not hard to make or anything, but it just got to be not a favorite. So we just decided to can it in favor of some newer designs, right? I mean, if we just keep adding and never take away, we don't have that much room. We don't have infinite room in our warehouse. So
Right.
At some point we can add, but we got to, if something's not really moving or just time is of the essence, just time to retire it. That's fine.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the weasel went. It just kind of fell by that wayside. We tried to give it a new breath of life with some new decals, and it just still didn't really take. So.
And that also happened. I know this wasn't asked probably, but the 7.5 V2, we've gotten destroyed about discontinuing that. Well,
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up.
Sell. It didn't sell.
Yeah. No.
So we decided to make kits, in that we needed the room on the shelf. So instead of putting 5 V2s up on the shelf and look at them for a year, we decided to pivot and do a Force 10 or a 7.5-inch Hawk. And are we ever going to bring some of these back?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, the 7.5 V2 is a great example of it's a real pain in the ass to make, no doubt. I mean, sometimes the prices don't. Yeah, we just right. That totally was a labor of love, and if it's not really moving, I'm not really loving it, and it was a lot of labor, and it's just like this thing's got to go.
Yeah,
it just wasn't. It wasn't conducive. We tried to breathe some life in it with the new modular, system and whatever, and it's like, okay, that was cool for about 6 months. I think we sold probably 10 in the 6 months, and then it just kind of fell off again. It's like, forget it. If people don't care, and
we stopped producing rockets because they don't sell.
Yeah.
Not because we don't like them. It's because they don't sell. So.
Yeah, and to the point of the V2, I always thought it was really cool to see one, but I never had an urge to own it. And I think that's where a lot of people are.
Me either. No, it's just no, not really.
All right. Let's see. Where were we?
Sorry, the one guy's mad. I feel bad, but there's always one.
Byrat again.
One day.
Says, where's LOC PML headed? What's the plan for the future? And this is going to be, I apologize in advance, any high performance fiberglass kits by any chance?
Absolutely, of course.
There you go.
PML needs some love, and it's going to get some
needs love. As we've made known, quantum tubing has been discontinued by its manufacturer.
We are antiquated.
Yeah,
Plastic sewer pipe. I guess as everybody likes to call it, sewer pipe, and as we found, they're just
so is filament wound fiberglass. That's sewer pipe too. But
fair,
quite literally, yeah.
It literally is, yeah.
Gas pipe.
That's
So we
deep. Sorry.
We have to. We are actively looking for replacement. We're trying to find something that's a little bit different than what's being offered out there for quantum. We can't really hit the gas pedal on PML until we get that done. Our 4-inch stock is dwindling. We're okay on 2 and 3-inch for the most part, but it's not long for this world.
Here's the deal. We're just not going to settle on PML. PML is going to be the next hot rod GT model of whatever, right? So you go buy I don't know, pick your car, and you don't buy the LE, SE, whatever. No, you're going to go with the GT, the whatever, right? You're going to get the top model. PML is the top model,
right?
And always shall be. So it's a matter of getting it right versus compromise to us. Right or wrong, it's taken longer than we wanted.
It's taken a lot longer than we wanted, but
we don't want to compromise those values.
Right.
It is,
and there was a lot of the internals of a PML rocket with the CPR and
the pistons
stuff and pistons. Yeah. It's out of style. People don't build that way anymore. We still offer some of the stuff. Not the CPR because
a little too boutique.
Yeah, a little too boutique, and the quick switch was just dangerous.
Dude, the threaded coupler, my God, what a disaster.
Still have some of those if you want some.
It's a great idea.
No, I'm good. I threw one of those in the trash.
So there was, we lockified some of the stuff. The putting a lock style eBay into them. But we're not going to get rid of the G10 fins. Those are going to stay. It's just where do we settle on the airframe material so we can hit the gas pedal again on those kits.
Yep.
So.
Well, I guess in that spirit, this is coming from me. What are the odds of a return of the flexible phenolic?
I'd rather have that over the regular phenolic any day. But
same. That's why I'm asking.
All right. Well, and we've heard that same feedback too, right? And so, Yank was a pretty short spurt, and we loved our flexible stuff because, we fly in the northern winters here where phenolic just shatters when it lands. Having the flexible was a great thing. Is it right to take over PML with flexible phenolic? We've had a lot of internal discussions about this. I personally feel it's the best way to go with it because really phenolic is, I don't know how everybody down south feels, but they don't really like phenolic anyway. So they're not dealing with winters. Up here where it's cold, it's cool in the summertime, but it sucks in the winter. It's brittle, it shatters.
Or desert out.
Yep.
Right. So we'd rather go with flexible before we continue with regular, and that is honestly our backup plan. And until a main airframe comes along, flexible phenolic will most likely be what we're going to do when the current inventory of regular phenolic is burned out. Yeah, no, I love Flexi. It's all the above to me. I like it. It's not expensive. It's strong. It lasts. It's waterproof. It's everything you want without shattering. So,
Right.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah, we're big fans of it as well. So that would be great news for us.
All right, we'll chalk that one up.
Mar Tiger 88 says, what leads the decision to retire a design? I guess we kind of touched on that. Some of the retired designs look awesome, and would you ever consider bringing them back?
Possibly. It depends. We might do a short run of something we've killed.
Yeah, if there's dead air. Run 6 of these.
If 50 people want something, put a back in stock notification on the webpage, and we'll make a run and let us know.
Yeah.
We're not against that. Let's just lump that into the LOC category. The PML stuff that's not listed or sold out on the website, that the majority of that is either because of airframe or because of no-scope.
Internal tools.
Right.
And there's internal stuff that we've got to figure out. So
Dang.
We redid the Bumblebee. We redid the Striker to make it more
robust,
friendly to build. And those have been really good sellers. Yeah, we see them around. So we want to do more of that with PML, but
as we can.
No skull and airframe. We don't want to nerf ourselves on something we have now when something coming down the pipe is even better.
Well, that's good. Hopefully the people that at least stick around to the end of this can stop berating you guys, asking when this is all going to
get
come to fruition. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Okay, Rocketman77 says, who has the best facial hair at LOC PML, and what is your favorite place to launch currently or from past launch sites that were available?
I don't know, Jay. Mine's gotten too gray. I think it's Jay. It's got the best facial hair.
Too gray.
That too.
I don't have any.
Joey,
In sync guy.
that's Joey from InSync right here.
Oh, man. That's true.
Yeah. Easy.
Not bad.
I'm too fat.
Should try and sneak onto Cameo, get some side hustles going
I
there.
got pulled over at airports before somebody thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm fatter than this guy. Hang on.
Favorite place to launch? I mean,
Airfest or Kansas or Alamosa Valley. That's a hell of a field too.
Yeah.
Up in Colorado. That's beautiful over there. Those are my top.
We miss Bonneville. We want Bonneville back.
Never been there.
No.
AAA North Texas has a great field too, though.
Seymour, Texas.
That's a really nice field, man. Ray's got something going on down there.
Yeah, we got to get out
shout
there.
out to Indiana, in Pence, Indiana, where they do Thunderstruck in the spring. IRI, Indiana Rocketry. If you've not been to a launch there, it's cool Midwest, but the super awesome thing is that the landowners are all there, and for a donation to the club, they will put you in their UTV and take you to your rocket and pick it up.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I've been there the last 2 years of Thunderstruck, and just a great field.
So you put that one up today from Pueblo, Colorado. I've never been to that field. We've driven by it. Somebody put it up today. That would look like a gorgeous field.
That's we got a ULA.
Yeah, I mean, holy crap! That just great wide open. It kind of reminded me of Alamosa, but it would just the area around the big wide open. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to find places like that these days.
Yeah, definitely.
Haven't been there yet, but
So I think I'm gonna go, like, if you don't want
Snakes, probably not Texas.
Yeah.
No glow in the dark scorpions.
Where am I going to get hurt the most? I'm not going to Australia.
Everything.
Thank you.
Right.
I know, it's so funny.
No scorpions.
There's so many. Vegas is awesome. The dry lake bed.
Yeah.
That was a nice
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Gene is great,
That was fun.
but you'll
Yeah,
definitely
right,
run
you
into
were
the
there.
snakes.
That was a cool launch, man.
Yeah, that was fun. I remember when we took that thing up to the LCO, they were like, "What's in this?" And I said, "K850," and they were like, "What does it weigh?" And I was like, 17 pounds. They're like,
Don't worry about it.
"What?" I was like, "You guys were all flying rockets in the 90s when this was normal. People were flying bruisers on J350s."
Right.
All the time.
Yep. Sit down. Hold my beer. Hang on.
Yeah, and that's something that we need to we have been trying to advocate for. It's like fiberglass came in and everybody forgot about what they did the last 30 years. So
Right. Even the people that were there doing it.
right,
You got taps telling people no to cardboard rockets. I'm like, well, come on.
exactly. So we're advocates for they're less expensive than fiberglass kits. They're cheaper to fly because you don't have to put all the propellant in them to get them up safely.
If you blow it up, you're not putting out a check of mortgage either. I mean,
Right.
So it's not that expensive.
That's kind of our thing. It's
No, it's
affordable and fun. It's a little more forgiving to build. It's easier to repair, and it's I don't know, the price of motors now.
I just have fun picking on all these fiberglass people that all of a sudden.
Sorry, Taylor. I know you're a firefighter.
Oh, I'm sorry, Taylor. Not really, but I've known Timmy forever, so I mean, we love the jab back and forth. That is so much fun. I mean, I remember Tim before he was Wild Man Tim. I mean, we've known him forever, so it's fun. It's an evolution, and each company is, Rocketry got here as a cumulative, not just because of one company, right? So I mean, it's all a progressive. Wherever you ended up on the pinball table, what bumper you bounced off of it. At the same day, we're all still here, especially after the 9/11 fiasco. So
Right.
it's fun to jab. It's fun to rip. I'll never stop. So as long as you're having fun flying, God bless you. That's all you need.
Find your path.
Find your path.
Yeah, well,
Get up there. Hit the button.
and we're all big advocates for lock precision and cardboard because we all like fiberglass too. And being, young and impressionable in the early 2000s when we were flying rockets as teenagers and Dynacom and Hawk Mountain were prohibitively expensive. Fiberglass being more accessible is awesome, but it's not. It's almost like become such a standard that everyone has if you're going to do something important, make sure it's fiberglass. Like
How about you get hybrids back into this?
I'm not with
right?
that. No, God, no.
Come on. I love flying.
I'm good on the
ready.
hybrids.
Love hybrid red.
Yes.
All right, I have one final question from Patreon. Before we do that, does anybody else from the panel have a question for our friends at Lock Precision PML? Matt, Taylor, Shane.
Please. Come on, Shane. You haven't said anything the whole time.
Oh, actually, can we get Little John's?
Oh,
I gotta go to the
that's
Little John in a minute. I don't know if that counts. Maybe the Big John.
What diameter?
Five
He's
and a half.
80
All
dozen.
cool. Yeah, all of them.
That's that big light bulb looking nose cone, right?
Transition.
Oh my God.
No, that's the Honest John.
No.
The Little John's
Yeah.
easy.
Which one's a little?
Yeah, Little John's just has a standard nose cone.
Well, apparently he wasn't
Yeah.
honest. I
Sure. I mean, do you want it scale or?
guess you got to take a look at what not honest John looks like. Little John?
Crooked John.
Sorry.
We're
Crooked John.
we're big Little John guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call it a crooked John and pull something off. I'm
Dave. Probably not. Take a picture of one of those in Huntsville, a real one. I'll show Dave. Okay.
Taylor, did you have something?
We a bullpup. Can we get a bullpup back in the game? A bigger one.
Big one.
Yeah.
Or what are you looking for? What's
Yes. But 6, 5.5, whatever.
Whatever.
Nose cones, Taylor. Weren't you listening?
Could do a 5.5.
I could totally do a 5.5.
Well, the 5.5 lock nose cone is almost scale for an actual bullpup.
Right.
So that's what made me
Almost
think about it.
The long one.
Yeah. The short one.
The short one.
If you look, if a real bullpup has the shorter nose cone.
Really? That's an honest job?
I believe so. There's a couple different kinds of bullpups, like actual missiles, but one of them has like a 3.8 to 1 or something, or 3.5 to 1.
Who's got specs on Little John over here? Anybody got some specs? I mean, I could look them up, but that's easy.
Yeah,
that's a piece.
Yeah,
of
it is easy.
Better looking than fins. Yes, it is.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
Nards and flares on it. That's fun.
Yeah, it's a cooler Patriot. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some bling on there.
Well, in that light, I'm taking us out on one more question from our friend Jonathan Gabery, who this was really, I've set this up as our finishing point because of something Mike sort of teased. And he says, in general, are there any new plans for kits that you are willing to share?
Got one on the table here. You want to speak about this one, Dave?
Do I?
Yeah.
Do I have to?
No.
Mike.
All right. So, as you guys know, we do TV stuff, right? Seco Skinwalker Ranch, Beyond Skinwalker, Dude Perfects, all that stuff. And we enjoy doing the TV stuff because we are there, not because we believe in aliens or anything like that. We do it because we know we can do it safely on camera and represent the hobby. And that's why Hollywood calls us to do that stuff.
F that, I'll shoot aliens every day, man.
So the last season of Skinwalker Ranch, we did a bunch of night flights with this design, and they were cool. It was 2 banks of 4 a mile apart,
like salvos of them.
Different, three different times in the last 4 each, 24. And they were on Sparky's,
G75s, right? Is that right?
I think so.
I think it's a Sparky.
H115? Were they? Oh, they were H115s.
Were they 115?
Yeah. So this is coming out next week.
I can't even see it. It's so
we can't
stealthy.
Even see it.
It's great.
It's so stealthy. We are going to call this the
780.
780, which is
that's everybody else's job to figure out.
Oh boy. At any rate, it's got kind of a 6 fins.
I love it.
2 long strakes. Kind of a stealth looking fin profile.
Skunk Works.
Yes, you can't see it.
You can't see it.
No.
Fish.
Top secret for now.
Hobby line, affordable. 29. There's 29 mount. Yeah.
Definitely hobby line. Have some fun.
So we've been pumping the big kits lately, so we figure we.
Do we really fly them on H's?
Yeah, I think they're H1.
I was going to recommend over a G80 on it, but all right.
So it doesn't. So this.
Well, but I mean,
we're gonna drop this next week.
Oh, Timmy Tom blowing his foot off.
We need to get the decals on it yet, but so that's kind of cool. We a 29 millimeter 3-inch kit. We've got.
We have an Onyx and an Athena, and that's it.
We've got the Magnum.
And the Magnum now, yes, that's just like as of a few months ago. So I mean, they're just
a lot of the hobby shop dealers want this size with that size motor mount. So trying to fill holes. Yep, trying to fill holes. So and we flew a bunch of them. I flew a version of this at Thunderstruck in Indiana and Midwest or Mini Midwest and. Absolutely, that thing didn't even rotate. Absolutely stable rocket. So that's coming out next week,
and that'll be this week for people who aren't Patreon channel members because it's coming out on Monday.
Right. So we're hoping to have it dropped on Monday. Actually,
cool.
Monday.
I don't know what day that is.
6.
Yeah, I was gonna say it. I don't know either, but that'll be the day the podcast comes out. So if you're listening to this right now, go to lockprecision.com. And hopefully that rocket's available.
Right. Anything else we got? Well, you want to talk about maybe some fiberglass? Oh,
can talk about that.
I can now. I'm the spokesman.
No.
Oh, your calendar's up under.
I was going to look at what Monday was.
So we've been doing something over the summer. We've had a lot of customers ask for pre-glassed airframes for kits. Whether it's cardboard or phenolic. 5.5 Goblins have been and Skinwalkers
we've done Force 10s, we've done Skinwalkers, we've done 5.5-inch Goblins. So we've kind of been, when people ask about it, we've got we came across a great deal from one of our suppliers on some material. And what we want to do is we want to offer pre-glassing of airframes on, what size kits, Jay?
4-inch and up.
4-inch and up.
For an example, 5.5 Goblin pre-glassed is plus $85.
Yes.
Ish. I think a
Wow.
Force 10 pre-glassed is $265 or $280,
Something like that. It depends on how many pieces of airframe are in the kit. So because it's a very, it's not, there's not an easy way to do it on our website. If you are interested in a kit 4-inch and above and want to have us pre-glass it, send us an email at support@lockprecision.com and ask for a quote, and we'll get you a quote.
Even 3-inch, that's more difficult, but I'll try.
So
There you go.
50% off. Nobody said this yet.
I know. It is.
We're running it at 50%.
Yes, we got a hell of a deal on our glass, so it's like, we'll share it along with everybody.
So if somebody wants to do like an L2 cert and they want something that's a little bit more durable so they can keep it around,
Right.
you want us a glass LOC 4X2 or our new dual deploy LOC 4, give us a shot.
I made some decals for one of those.
What's that?
I made some decals for a LOC 4X2 for Jesse. He did the Wonder Bread paint job, so he had me make him some spots.
Yeah, Jesse Bada. Yeah.
Yep.
That dude's a monster builder, man. He kicks them out quick.
Yeah, he's a factory. So does that apply to just buying tubes as well, or is it only for kits?
No, tubes or kits.
Tubes or kits.
Whatever you want. We
Dang.
don't know how long it's going to last, our stock, so there's
Our supplier gave us a hell of a deal. I don't know what they were doing, but
we just took it. It's going to end. I don't know when that is.
yeah, don't ask questions. We just like, okay, yeah, that's fantastic. We'll take it.
Game on right now until we cannot.
Lost your thing.
Cool.
I know, I'm done with it.
Well, Shane, we were just talking about how we need a bunch more tubes sitting around, so maybe we'll have to.
Yeah, we do.
All right. Well, go ahead, Taylor.
Oh, I was just saying, I think I still need an ultimate buzz, but I'm fresh out.
Yeah, dude, get a pre-glassed one.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, what? Yeah.
All right. I think that is going to bring it to an end for the podcast, folks. Does anybody have anything else to say?
Nope.
All right. Well, on that note, my name is Braden Carlson. You can find me right here on YouTube at Rocket Vlogs. You can find me on Snapchat and Instagram at BigB1011. And go follow me on TikTok at Braden Carlson6. I'm trying to hit 10,000 followers on TikTok because I'm clinging to being a child as much as I can. I'm almost 30. It's getting crazy. It's really become a spearheading issue. Anyway.
My name is Taylor. You can find me on YouTube at The Rocket Channel. And if you feel like it, go to Instagram at TJ Snakes with a Z.
My name is Shane. You can find me on YouTube at Postart Propulsions, on Instagram at Shane Harris Photo, and now HPRtools.com.
I'm Matthew Myers, and you can find me right here.
And thank you guys so much for being here. Dave, Mike, and Jay from Lock Precision PML. One last time, it's support@lockprecision.com, right?
Correct. Yep.
Support@lockprecision.com, 50% off pre-fiberglass tubes and kits, 3 inches and above. So get after it while you can. Might be time to pull that trigger on that new project. My name is Braden Carlson. We are the Anti-Gravity Group. This is the Anti-Gravity Group podcast featuring Lock Precision PML for this episode, and we will see you guys next time.